Good morning, peeps. Wow, it's another day. Happy Labor Day. Today is September the 4th, 2023. We just got into September and it's already the 4th. This month is going by really fast. I have so many things going on, as I shared, I think in my last vlog, but I have a calendar. I put the books that I need to read on there, and it's quite a few, so I need to make sure I prioritize reading over whatever else I'll be doing, which most likely is surfing the web. But that's all right. I think everything can be done in time. I just need to focus. It's easier said than done. But this morning I got up at around 7 something, and then I checked my messages and I saw that I got a message from Ellen at Lunacia Books. And I was like, okay, girl, she already did her Wordle, so I need to do my Wordle. It's like a thing that we have every morning. I feel like it's been pretty consistent. Every morning or every day, we will message each other our Wordle results to see, how we did, because you get 6 chances to guess the word of the day. And that's what we did today. And this one was difficult. I have never taken so long to solve a Wordle puzzle. It took me 20 minutes to solve it. I'm not really sure why it took me that long. Usually it doesn't. Well, you know what? Take it back. I do know why. It's because I need to build up my vocabulary. Honestly, I feel like I do read, but when I am reading, I'm not always looking up all the words that I'm reading, especially if I can get the context of it while, from a sentence or from a passage. But I need to do better about that. So, yeah, Wordle, it's a good thing. I may include it every day now, just to see if you all are able to guess it along with me. And what else? What's on today's list? So the list of things to do today are almost the same as yesterday. I want to get some reading done because I have a meeting on Wednesday to finish reading Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. And I also need to read Our Love Will Devour Us by R.L. Meza, or the M.L. Racer. My mind. So yeah. Okay, Vampires of El Norte. That is by Isabel Cañas. My mind wants to say Del Norte, but it's of El Norte. So I have to remember that while I'm talking about the book. But yeah, I read a little bit of it last night, but I need to make a bigger dent in it today because the meeting is on Wednesday. I had a weird dream that they made it where the meeting started at 6 o'clock and then did not end until 8. And I'm like, no, that's not what we agreed on. It's supposed to only be a 1-hour meeting from 7 to 8. So that was weird. Why am I dreaming about a meeting for this book? But yeah, today I plan on getting some reading done, specifically in those 2 books because I have deadlines for those that are sooner than the others. And I also want to finish editing a video. I've tried to do it on my computer. My computer is not doing well when it comes to CapCut. That's what I use to edit my videos. And CapCut, for whatever reason, is very laggy on my computer. So I'm having to not only film on my phone, but I also need to edit on my phone now until I am able to get something that's a little bit better. And it does not break the bank. I want something that's feasible. But other than that, I most likely will pop in every now and then just to give you an update on what I'm up to. I'm going to be home all day. I purposely made sure that I did whatever I need on the weekend. Weekend being Saturday, I got it all done so I didn't have to leave the house again until Wednesday. So, until later, you all have a good one, all right? All right. Bye. Hello, you all. Welcome to the currently listening section. I wanted to do something a little bit different because I listened to several things throughout the week. I am either listening to an audiobook, new music, or podcasts, or all of them together in general. And I wanted to put them on their own section, the currently listening section, and then after this, I'll put the currently reading, meaning what I'm looking at with my physical eyes. At first, I thought about putting the audiobooks with the physical books and the ebooks, but I decided not to. I'd rather just keep it separate, currently listening and currently reading. So what I'm currently listening to is the audiobook of Terry McMillan's It's Not All Downhill From Here. This is the book club pick for September 2023 for my Buddy Reads group. Buddy Reads with Reading Beyond the Book Cover. If you want to, go ahead and join. I am available for this Buddy Reads and on several different platforms. You can find me on Fable, bookclubs.com, Bookships, Discord, Facebook. The most activity and the only activity has been on Facebook, but I would like for it to branch out on into different areas, and that is the reason why I have also posted the same information that I'm posting on Facebook in those other apps or other book apps, bookish apps. And the audiobook is okay so far, as usual as in from my reading experience. The author is reading the book herself, so it is something to get used to. I was almost turned off from reading it because it was 56 minutes long for the first chapter. Reading it through audiobook, 56 minutes is a long time for one chapter, but I can only imagine reading it with my eyes. It will make someone not want to read it. But I'm so happy I stuck in there because the first chapter really laid the ground for where everything else is to go. It's the catalyst to make things move, and I'm liking it so far. I made it to chapter 10, and I'm most likely going to be posting a question tomorrow on the 10th because we have suggested reading, and I wanted to do something a little bit different this time where I will pose a question that's just a general question. You don't have to be in a specific chapter. It's a question that you can ask for any chapter. So something like, how are the characters? How do you feel about the characters? Or if you were one of the characters, who do you most relate to? Something like that. I know that didn't make sense, but you know where I'm going. So I have that there. And then when it comes to music, I've been listening to a lot of music, but these are the specific songs that I've been listening to on repeat. We have Burna Boy, Sitting on Top of the World, featuring 21 Savage. I like that he sampled Brandy's Sitting on Top of the World. Really, really love this beat. Can't help but tap my foot to it. And then we have Breaking Point, featuring Victoria Monet. And this is with Leon Thomas. I recently saw a video of him on the Terrell Grice show on YouTube, and I did not realize that he was one of the characters. I think on the TV show Victoria, is it Life is Victoria? I'm not sure. It's some show on Nickelodeon. I didn't grow up watching it, but he was on that show, and I had no idea that he was a singer, songwriter, producer, all that good stuff. He plays instruments. Very good. I love his voice. And Victoria Monet, I love her voice as well. Then we have Janelle Monáe, and this is the song Only Have Eyes for Two. I like how she plays with words and numbers. This entire album here, I know a lot of people were kind of not necessarily leery about it, but because of the ads that were put out, they're highly sexual, and it's something that's different that we really haven't gotten from her. It's like progressive. I've been following Janelle Monáe since I was in college. I remember when she would come on campus when I was at Spelman for my first year of college. She would come on campus and go to that cafe and sing there regularly. So I remember her from humble beginnings, from the very beginning, before anybody else out here in the world knew her name. And back then she used to wear men's clothes, or not even men's clothes, just pants, suit, tie, very Dapper Dan, dressed up. And then she turned into a robot kind of era where she was wearing more clothes that were more futuristic or futuristic. And then you had the era of when she came out as pansexual. I think it was pansexual. If not pansexual, it's something else. I know she came out. I'm putting air quotes up because at this point, I feel like we should have another word, another phrase for when people disclose their sexuality, but that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, after that happened, she had that one album where She had a lot of costumes that looked like labias and vaginas. I can't help but to laugh. And so now we're here. So I don't know why people are shocked, because I feel like she's given us a taste of things over time. She's gradually shown us where she's trying to be. So this is the album of sexual freedom. I enjoy it. I love the instruments. I love her voice. Chef's kiss. The whole album is good. But this record here played a lot on my playlist, and I kept repeating it over and over again. Do I know all the words? No, I don't, but that don't matter. The beat is where it's at. Then, of course, if you are on the internet, you know Victoria Monet. She has her Jaguar album out, Jaguar #2. She's on tour right now, or she's about to be on tour, on tour pretty soon. And On My Mama is samples. I don't remember the song that it samples, but I know it's one of the songs that I grew up listening to when I was in college as well. So it feels very nostalgic. The album is an ode to the South, specifically in Georgia. When it comes to the video, it's so... I don't know what else to say. I really enjoy this album, and I play it often. I most likely play this song every morning, on the way to work, on the way from work, and while I'm at work. It's playing. And lastly, we have Snow Allegra, Be My Summer. This song is really sweet. It makes me want to just sit outside on the porch with my legs crossed on top of, I don't know, a box or just something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like a summer song. It feels like I should be glistening outside, fanning myself because I don't have a fan on the outside of the porch. For some reason, it's like a sexy country song to me. It's hard to explain unless you actually experience something like it, but that's where it takes me. And I like how it lets me escape when I'm at work, not necessarily in the car. When I listen to this in the car, I'm ready to go back home. But if I'm at work, I can kind of chill out a little bit with Be My Summer. It's a sweet song. Take a listen to it. If it's not your jam, it's okay. Snow Allegra, she doesn't really sing fast songs. All of her songs are slow. They're more of the slow R&B. So it's not for everybody, but it's for me. And podcasts. So I listen to the usual podcasts, the messy ones. I listen to Blown Off. I listen to The War of Roses on a couple of radio stations. Love Trap. And then I also listen to Dirty Work Wednesday on Z104. Those all have some kind of prank call involved, just like I had shared with you all last week. I think the craziest one that I had heard was when the husband was cheating on the wife with a babysitter. Ew. And the babysitter was, I think, 18 or 19 years old. And the husband seems like he's a narcissist. He also gaslights his wife. She was shrieking over the phone. It was very embarrassing to listen to. It made me uncomfortable. I don't see why she would stay with someone like that, but I guess you never know somebody's history, so people stay with people for a certain reason. People that are not healthy to them or for them. So I think she's supposed to give them an update. I'm not going to listen in for it. It may be done already. I don't even remember the date that the original episode was posted, but it was just interesting to hear it play out over the radio. And the excuse that he gave was, I wanted to give her flowers for doing a good job. Shut up. What I don't understand is that when these people are cheating, they come up with the most wackest excuses. Wackest. I don't get it. I don't understand. But it's a good messy time, and that's why I continue to listen to it. But what I really want to talk about was the Friend Zone. The Friend Zone is my favorite, or one of my favorite podcasts to listen to every week. I love Hey Friend Hey, Hey Asante, and Dustin Ross. They are collectively the Friend Zone, and this episode, Friend was talking about how she was feeling different from herself, and it's relatable for me. She and I are both Tauruses. I don't know whether or not that means anything. I'm not really big on the stars and moons and astrological signs and charts. I'm not into that, but I understand where she's coming from in the sense of sometimes you have to audit yourself. So what she does with her castmates is she sits with them and asks them questions about how they're feeling what is going on, where their head is, how do they think they performed this year when it comes to their life as well as professional, as well as their professional. And she disclosed that her body was feeling differently because she no longer was doing the things that she was doing the years prior, which were some things like going to sleep on time or eating a healthy diet. Healthy diet for her as in less meat. She wasn't eating a lot of meat or dairy before. And then I think she went to the doctor for something, and the doctor said her iron levels or some kind of vitamin levels were low, so she had to do something about that. So she's taking charge of her health. And then she's also talking about how she needs to slow down and not work so much, because that's kind of her coping mechanism when she is going through something. Instead of trying to do something that's a little bit less stressful on top of it, she chooses something that helps her to zone out. You have to listen to the episode to understand what I mean. There are some people who numb themselves by drinking or taking drugs. And of course, that's something that I think, for the most part, people who do drink, they will do that. They try to forget whatever is happening in the moment and not try to face whatever it is that's happening with them. With her, she was starting to drink, and then she also was delving more into work. And then you have Asante, he's going through something right now as well. He said that he was going to therapy for it, and there was just a lot of nuggets in there. They always have something that's useful to integrate into your life, and you can always count on Dustin to make you laugh or chuckle. All three of them are actually really funny. I say give it a listen. If you don't get offended by the N word or the F word or just casual cussing or cursing, give it a try. I enjoy listening to it. It's my go-to along with the read, and I sometimes listen to Jade and XD and Jade and Dr. Kia. They all are part of the Loudspeakers Network, so of course I'm listening to all of them. That is all I listened to this week. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of the vlog / week in reading. I don't want to call it a vlog, so we're going to take that away. Pretend I didn't say it. Let's go ahead and continue with the rest of the week in reading. I hope that you enjoy, and goodbye. Let's go on ahead and get into this B-roll, okay? All right. Love Will Devour Us by R.L. Meza. Chapter 1, Deborah. It was back again, the only tree on her land that wouldn't put down roots. Deborah sat forward in her rocking chair, pen scratching in her journal, eyes fixed on the section of forest framed by her bedroom window. Beyond the white expanse of snow blanketing the clearing, a looming wall of red pines hemmed the cabin in, swaying as the wind howled through the trees. When the wind lapsed, the trees fell still, all but one. Deborah's pen moved lower on the page, sketching the tree's new position. She didn't own a camera, had never bothered to buy another after her daughter ran away from home, taking Henry's Nikon with her. It was probably gathering dust in a pawn shop somewhere, a disgrace to her husband's memory. With an arthritic fist, Deborah clutched a musty quilt draped over her shoulders, pulling it tighter to stave off the shivering fits that always arose when she thought of Henry. Her other hand continued sketching, clamped around the pen despite the pain in her gnarled joints. The scratching reminded her of something trying to get out, or in. Someone was whispering her name. Deborah cocked her head, listening, as the wind whistled through the cracks in the logs. Cold air nibbled at her ankles. Closing her eyes, she muttered a prayer under her breath. When she returned her gaze to the window, the tree was closer in the clearing now, standing alone. Deborah documented the changes, scowling. The record was for her, to aid her failing mind. She had nothing to prove, not to her nosy neighbor, Evelyn, and certainly not to the doctor Evelyn had dragged out to examine her. Armed with a prescription pad, the hack had poked and prodded Deborah with his frigid stethoscope, tutting about the dangers of living off the grid at her age. He smiled as he spoke, not to Deborah, but to Evelyn, about advanced stages in care homes. Hello, hey stranger. I know it's been a while since you've seen this face and maybe even heard this voice. I'm not really sure this far in the week. I have been gathering clips and putting them together as I do them. Hopefully I have one more look through tomorrow, most likely not tonight because my eyes are hurting, and see what's going on as far as how I have compiled everything. But I just wanted to show my face and let you all know about what I read this week. I actually did focus on one book in particular, and that is Our Love Will Devour Us by R.L. Meza. And I'm only, 11% through. So the problem with that is, and the reason why it's like that is because I've been reading at night. And, when you're in the bed, it's comfortable. It's warm or cold either way, and you're tired from a long day. Me, myself, I'm lucky if I even get 2 pages in. So I need to rectify that. I'm pretty sure I said that in the previous video, so I'm still repeating myself. Hold me accountable in the comments below. Hopefully, what I'm planning to do today is to read 1 hour just to see how far I can get. And if I am still enjoying it, I may just power on through and read the rest of the day. At first, I thought about recording some more content as well as editing some previous content, but I don't think that my eyes can take so much more straining for today. I've been working, of course, because I'm at work, but because I work with spreadsheets and I'm looking at several numbers, my eyes start to get fatigued from looking at everything, and then my mind is trying to figure out what's happened from past times and current times, and just a lot of processing. Like at this moment, I feel like my brain is split several different ways, and I needed to just come back together. So in order to do that, I need to focus on just one thing instead of trying to multitask like I usually do. Sometimes I'm able to read and listen or watch YouTube videos at the same time, or I'll watch some TV show, like something that doesn't take too much thinking. I'm able to do that, but not today. Today, we're going to just enjoy blessed silence while reading, or I may just play some music, but it's going to be instrumental. But what I wanted to tell you about Our Love Will Devour Us mainly are the characters. So First off, I like the writing style. I'm gonna say that. 2, the location, I'm enjoying that as well. I am a sucker for a house in the middle of nowhere, and the nearest neighbor is miles away. Love it. So we have this setting where we have an elderly character. I forgot how old she is, but her name is Deborah. Deborah is at home drawing a picture of a tree, I believe so, and she feels like the tree is moving closer and closer to her. What I do need to express is that Deborah also has dementia, if I remember correctly. If not dementia, she has Alzheimer's. It's one of the two. And the reason why that's an issue is because she lives alone. Her husband died 30 years ago. Her daughter left when she was 16 years old. She's now 41, I believe so. Her daughter's name is Claire. And the only person that she's in contact with for the most part is a neighbor of hers named Evelyn. Evelyn is the one that helped her go to the doctor and is trying to basically give her sort of like not a benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to say it. I think the word I'm looking for is she's trying to make sure Evelyn treats Deborah with the same kind of treatment that she would even if she were not losing her faculties. Picking up what I'm putting down? I hope so. So Deborah, she's at home drawing this tree. She's having thoughts about the previous months or years where she's being diagnosed with the issue in her brain and whatnot. And she's thinking about her child as well. And at nighttime while she's sleeping, she keeps saying that she sees her husband. Remember, her husband died 30 years ago, but her husband comes back, and it's like this creature or a monster or a shadow, a figurement, not really sure, that has green eyes, and she follows it outside the house. After that, we don't hear from Deborah again. So it's been a whole year in between that part of the book and where I'm reading now, and they have deemed her either disappeared or just dead, one or the other. Either way, the house, something has to be done with it. So Claire comes back, and it's been a long time. Remember, it's been 25 years since she's been there, and she's trying to figure out whether or not she wants to fix up the house and sell it, or if she wants to keep it. But she's also processing some things. Claire's an interesting character because for me, when I'm reading it, you can tell that she cares about the people that she has in her life now, but at the same time, she struggles to go back because it seems like she feels the need to be perfect. But she also is continuously justifying her actions based on the actions of the people that she claims to love. I hope that's making sense. I'm trying not to say too much, okay? But I enjoy her. Evelyn, she's funny, a hoot. And the other character that we meet is Claire's wife. Claire's wife's name is Emma. I think, if I remember correctly, I know I'm saying that a lot because my mind, when I'm reading, I'm in the moment. It doesn't really grasp onto everything. Unless it's like something that's very impactful and pivotal. It's just going. But I don't know much, or we don't find out much about Emma yet, except that she's there with the children. So they have 2 kids, Silas and Lily. Lily is 16. I think Silas is 7 or 8. I think 7, because I remember him saying he's in the 6th, not 2nd. Is it 2nd grade or 7th grade? Silas is younger than Lily, okay? So Silas, he gets picked on, he's bullied, and Lily, she's trying to protect her brother. She's very perceptive. She's able to pick up on what's going on in the family as far as the energies and how people are communicating with each other. And she's, like I said, she's very protective of her brother. The part of the book that I'm at, she just finished picking her brother up from being bullied at school, but while he was being bullied, she also, Emma says, attacked. So Emma gets on her about attacking a younger child. I think she picked him up by his underwear or his clothes or something and hung him up on the wall. Really funny. So it's just this book it reads almost like a TV show in a way, or a movie. So that's why I'm enjoying it. But Emma, back to Emma. I keep getting off. So Emma, we don't know much about her now. We just know that she's there, and she's there alone, and she's waiting to hear back from Claire. So she knows that Claire went to the house out in the middle of nowhere, but she also knows that there's no signal. So she's thinking, okay, maybe she hasn't called because of signal, but Claire actually has called. So it's kind of like a mixed signal going on with those two, and they're going through a separation of sorts. So I'm not really sure why, like what was the issue between them to make them separate like this. But the younger child, Silas, is like he doesn't really think about it much, but whereas the older child, what is her name? I just forgot that quick. Lily, she picks up on it and she will ask them, talk to me, tell me what's going on, and it worries her. You would think that the mother would not worry her child like that, but I understand you don't want your child to have to worry about issues that concern you, right? But Emma works a lot. That's what I know so far. A lot of things happen in the home because she is not there and she's working. So yeah, there's that. But I'm at the part, now I think about it, where Emma says that she has some vacation time. She has people to cover for her, so she most likely will go and surprise Claire at the house. And Lily, I think it was Lily said that that's not a good idea because I guess surprises or just them leaving the way they did as far as the argument, whatever happened between them, it may not be a good idea to just show up out of the middle of nowhere. It's like maybe she needs time to process away from you, which is a valid point. You don't have to come and surprise me just because you feel that would make me feel better. It may not. It may make things worse, right? So there's that, and there's a substance issue with both of them. I think Emma smokes. I think. I'll have to double check, but I know for sure Claire has a drinking problem. And I think that's one of the issues that has been a source of contention between both of them and why they aren't really together right now. Now, where I left off last night, what I do remember is it's getting a little bit creepy. I don't want to read in the dark. And I don't want to be sitting by a window. Something about windows is very uncomfortable. But the part that I'm at, it's cold outside. They decide to light a fire, and there's a discussion between Evelyn and Claire. So they're talking to each other over some drinks. Alcohol already makes you see things a little bit. So just imagine you drinking alcohol and then you kind of being sober, but not really. And then somebody that's familiar with the land there stops and pauses. Of course, you're going to be scared. I know I was. I was like, girl, what did you see? What did you see in that window and why did you pause? But she just brushed it off like it's nothing. And then but it was weird because she stopped and then she grabbed her knife, and then that led to the discussion as to whether or not Claire should have a gun while she's here trying to settle everything at the house. So it's a good book. If you can't tell, I'm excited. I'm only 11% through. Hopefully it keeps the same energy, and I'm gonna read for an hour and see where it goes. If I do make it to that hour and I have anything to say, I will come back. If I don't, I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye. Okay, so it's actually been about an hour and 15 minutes. I was able to read around maybe 10 to 12% of my book, so I'm now at the 23% mark of Our Love Will Devour Us. It's getting good. We are now at the cabin or at the house, and the whole family is there. So the house that I'm talking about is Claire's childhood home. Claire didn't expect her family to show up, and when they come there, she is welcoming to the children, but she's still cold towards Emma because they have had some marital issues. They are going to counseling. They have a marriage counselor, but it seems that nothing is really working out. They are too opposite, and it makes me wonder why they even are together. Like, what is it about each other that they like? And why is it that they liked it so much that they tied the knot? A marriage essentially is a contract, and it's cheaper to get married than it is to get divorced. So that's why I think people should be more careful when it comes to choosing someone to spend their life with, unless they're willing to pay maybe thousands of dollars, over hundreds of dollars to get married. Hope I'm making sense there. But they're there. There's friction. There's tension. It's palpable by everyone in the home, even company. So Evelyn comes by after the children and Emma are getting settled in and trying to navigate being around each other again after they had already discussed that this is time for Claire to be away from Emma and the children, to take care of her mother's home, get it together, to sell it, as well as to give her some privacy to work through her own problems. Because as I said in the previous clip, Claire has an alcohol problem, okay? Now, one thing that I want to correct myself about last time is me mentioning that Emma smokes. They haven't made it clear that she smokes. I'm just assuming that she smokes based on the mention of finding plastic lighters in her clothes by Claire. So Claire mentions that, oh, she knows that Emma has secrets too. So I don't know if Claire smokes cigarettes or if she maybe burns herself or maybe she burns things. Possibly she's a pyromaniac. Who knows? The reason why I'm retracting what I said about her smoking is because I did catch on the fact that she scrunched her nose up in disgust when Evelyn started to light a cigarette and, was smoking. So that's why I'm thinking maybe she's not a smoker. But what I can say about Evelyn now that what I can say about Emma, now that we've been around her a little bit longer, is that she's a little bit more uptight. She holds the children on a very short leash. She's not overprotective, but she's just too concerned. And she's always trying to fix things. It's like she thinks she can change stuff. And now that I think about it, maybe that's the reason why she married not Emma, Claire. So maybe Emma married Claire because she likes to fix things. There are people out there that seek fixing things. They see people as projects, and the bigger the project, the more attractive it is. So it's interesting seeing them together. I wish that Claire would come around, but she seems very abrasive now. It's like she's warm towards this complete stranger, Evelyn, who was friends with her mother. But here's her wife and her children, and she's just hot and cold. You don't even know what you're going to get. And it's getting so, not necessarily out of hand, but you can kind of tell that Claire is kind of in her element, but out of her element. So whatever happened at this house to make her run away when she was 16, it must have left a lingering effect on her, because when she gets back to the house and when they're there, I think she was like going to pick up something in the home, and Silas, that's the youngest child, the boy, Silas decides to try to open the basement door, which is like a door in the floor of the kitchen. And she gets upset with him and tells him he can't go down there. Don't go to the basement. But they end up having to go to the basement because something happens at nighttime. So there is something in that basement that we have questions about as well. Not really sure where it's going to lead us, but I'm having a good time. We're finding little trinkets here and there. In the basement, there were 2 trinkets that I have questions about. Then there's also this one trinket that keeps popping up. I'm going to say trinket for anything that is questionable that may lead us down a trail of other clues and give us more answers to what happened out there in the middle of nowhere. Because this house is like off the grid. If you need to make a phone call, you have to go to the gas station or to the food market or corner store. That's better. You have to go to a corner store to make a phone call. So it's really out there. They actually go and take like a little tour. I think it's on the land that the house is on, or it's maybe behind the house. I'm not really sure if it belongs to Claire and her family, but Evelyn takes them out there and they see this school that used to be a school for indigenous children to assimilate them into white culture. There's several different things on this land that are just questionable. Another thing, they keep finding footprints, and they're not just like footprints of somebody that's been walking around and hunting or something, because supposedly there are no animals in this area. If there are no animals, why are you living there? Even if the animals were there, I'm also wondering, why are you there? So it's like it's sketchy. Something doesn't seem right. But yeah, it's getting there where my eyes are skipping across the page. And when my eyes do that, it means that I'm having a good time. So I'm going to continue reading the book tonight. I may like do a little bit of exercising to close my rings. I still have to burn a couple of more calories to close all 3 of my rings before midnight. So I may do some line dancing to get that done, take my shower, drink the rest of my water, and then I will catch up with you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be my last day filming for this week, and it should be short and sweet, but we know how I am. I am Miss Long-Winded, okay? You can call me Jaleesa, aka Long-Winded, and she know it, okay? I subscribe to it, and I reside there. Get used to it. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. Hi, today is September the 9th, 2023, 10:30 in the morning. This is the second time I've woken up today. It's because the first time was at 5:30. I woke up to rain outside my window, lightning coming through my window pane, and thunder all around me. I am thankful for all 3, although it scared me. But I'm thankful for all 3 because it's been really hot here, and we needed something to cool off the ground, cool off everybody, just cool off the earth where we are, so that we can get some kind of break from the excessive heat. I have never in my years of living received so many notifications from ERCOT, ERCOT, which is the energy company here in Texas. And they kept telling us to reduce our temperatures, reduce our electricity usage. I guess they sort of kind of learned their lesson from the freeze that we had in either 2021 or 2022. But now it's on the opposite spectrum, where they know that using too much energy, no matter if it's hot or cold, it can cause blackouts. So we got a lot of notifications in the last week or so because the temperatures have just been over 100 consistently. And I don't think that their power plant or whatever it is up there can handle all of that and what it entails. People are using more energy to cool off. But we didn't come to talk about that. I'm just saying I'm thankful for the rain. I woke up at 5:30 then, and then I went back to sleep after reading a couple more pages of this book, Our Love Will Devour Us. First, I'm going to tell you about a dream I had after I read some more of the book, and then I'm going to tell you about how I felt about the book, what my plans are for the rest of the day, and then I'm going to send you off like I know I should, which is the right way, okay? So, the dream I had after reading this book, it had nothing to do with the book, but it was just strange. It felt almost real. The building that I live in, it used to be a hotel. I'm not sure how old it is. I want to say maybe 14 years, or maybe more than that. Who knows? All I know is I can hear every step that people make upstairs, especially if they're walking really hard. And I don't remember whether or not I left the front door top lock unlocked. I have the bottom lock locked, but the top lock, I may or may not have locked it. So in my dream, I kept feeling like I can hear somebody coming in. Maintenance has master keys to all of the doors in the building. So I was a little bit nervous in my dream, and it also felt like it was happening to me here. So it's almost a double feeling. I hope that makes sense. So I'm in the dream, but I'm also here in reality, feeling like this is happening to me. I'm laying in bed, sleeping, and then I hear shuffling noises, but my body is too heavy to wake up. I'm unable to open my eyes, and I'm feeling nervous, but because I'm so tired and I can't get up, I just lay there. Then when I finally do wake up, this is in the dream still, I walk outside and I'm saying to myself, why does it feel like we have more space in the home? Walking around, doing what I does, take a shower, brush my teeth, go and do something, eat something. Like I'm doing my daily things that I do on the weekend. So maybe I should rephrase that. I do what I usually do on the weekends, which is running errands, moving around, doing the things that I don't get to do during the week, right? I get back to like actually sitting down and digesting why is there so much space. Come to find out, somebody stole all of our furniture except for the bed and the dresser. So any furniture that had like electric items or electric devices, they stole it. And I didn't notice it until close to the end of the day. It was so strange. I was like, why am I having this dream about somebody stealing from me? That makes me nervous because it feels like somebody may steal from me. So knock on wood that does not happen. Now, the book, Our Love Will Devour Us. I'm still enjoying it. I have gotten through an historical portion of the book where we meet a girl named Grace. She's half white, half native, and she is used as a prop by this man. We do not know his name. They call him Father, and he uses her as the example of what can be expected from one of his schools that he has created for indigenous children. He goes to the government to ask for funding. He also goes to other tribes and dresses her up as an Indian. So, and they know that she's only half or not at all. So it's almost like, oh, you're playing in our faces, but whatever. But he uses her to get money from the government, and he also uses her as an example for the tribes so they are enticed to send their children to the school. And this one particular town, or not town, I'm sorry, the tribe they go to or settlement that they go to, they were able to persuade, I think, enough families to take 120 something children with them, but only 118 survived. So I think 3 died on the way there. And he's a very cruel man, very, very cruel man. And the reason why his story and her story, Grace, are important is because the cabin or the place that they had the school, so the school was on the same land by where Claire lives. And in the previous part of my video, if you remember me telling you, they accidentally came upon that house. They knew it was there only because Evelyn, she likes to collect information. She's into history. But the other people, so Claire, Emma, Silas, and Lily, the family, they didn't know. So Evelyn knows that this house is here, and that's why she took them on a tour there. So everything is starting to kind of make sense. You're getting a little bit of history about the building that's on the land, and then you're also getting more information as to why it may be a little bit strange around that house, because the energy is not good. I'm pretty sure children have died on that land because there's a well that's built in the school, and in the book, Grace, she's always questioning why the well is there, and then something does happen where she's getting the answer to her question. And I think at the end of the chapter, it was for me, it was moving when she said, I now know what the well is for. So you have to kind of read it between the lines, right? So I am enjoying it. I think I'm at the 27 or 30% mark. Excuse me. And I expect to finish it soon. I don't think I'll be able to finish it by the 10th and review it as well, but I'm going to try my best. If I can't, then I'll try to read and review it before the end of the week, next week. For my plans for today, I plan to go to the store, have my groceries ready to pick up between 11:30 and 12, and hopefully I can get back home before 11:45 so I can be in the house unpacking things by 12 p.m. The least amount of time outside is what I prefer because there's really not much to do when it's hot like this, at least for me. And then things cost money, and I have plans for other activities throughout the month, so I need to make sure I stay my butt inside. But as far as other plans after that, I most likely will do some editing. I will read, and then I may attempt to do a book review. I like taking the time to write the post for the book review as well as doing a video. I feel that that's a good way for me to stay on top of things instead of trying to do it separately. I have this issue when it comes to compartmentalizing things. For whatever reason, in my head, I'm telling myself, oh, I can't write the review and post a video at the same time, but I can. So now I'm going to do them ideally at the same time. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me this week. Let me know in the comments whether or not you will maybe pick up this book, Our Love Will Devour Us, based on what I've told you about it so far. And as usual, before I go, I'm going to remind you to drink your water. Let me go and get it. I'll be the first drinking book. Drink your water, mind the business that's yours, and continue reading beyond the book's cover. I'll see you later. Bye.